Hey girlies, hey gays, hey theys, and welcome back to Live, Laugh, Love, Lesbian, a podcast for the girls who like girls, for basically anybody who is a little bit gay, or maybe somebody is listening thinking, I'm straight, but you've clicked on, so thanks for being here. We appreciate you. You're all welcome here at Live, Laugh, Love, Lesbian. I am your host and lesbian big sister, Juliet Taylor. Thank you so much for clicking onto this podcast, whether it's your first time listening, whether you've been a listener since day one. I love and appreciate you all, and I'm so excited for this week's episode. I'm going to keep the introduction really short because today I interview two incredibly exciting guests, and they were the amazing Carys and Meg, and they are acting students at Rose Bruford, and they're currently writing a play all about the lesbian experience. And I just really hope you guys like the episode. They were so fun to chat to. We had some really funny chats, and we also had a few, deep and meaningful chats. So hopefully there's something in this episode for everybody. Trying to think if there's anything I have to update you guys on. Don't think life's been that exciting. Tell you what, I went to this really cool event at the weekend. It was for the Sunday Girl magazine. Don't know if anybody here reads it. It's a really cool magazine. They interview some really cool people, and they had a whole article on Chapel Roan, which I thought was fabulous. And they had this make your own necklace thing, or you can make a bracelet. So basically you pick the charms, and you picked your it's all a chain, the actual necklace thing, and then the lady sits and puts them onto you, and I'm just looking at it in the mirror, and it's just so cool, and I just wanted to tell you all about it because I love it. So I went for my initials on it, JST. Who was I talking to today? I was talking to someone I teach today, and they were like, oh, so what's your girlfriend called? And I was like, Taylor. And they were like, aren't you called Juliet Taylor? And I was like, yes. Haha, Taylor. Taylor absolutely hates when people say that to her, but I think it is hilarious. But yeah, I went to this event. It was really nice to network with so many people and tell people about the podcast, and so many people were like, oh my god, I'm going to listen. So if you're the two lovely girls that I met, you're amazing. I'm going to tell you guys about them because a lot of you have been asking for things to do for date ideas with your partners around Halloween and Christmas time. So if you're in the Northeast, you want to check out Studio Craft NE. They put on paint and sit parties, and then the other business that they collaborate is called, I've got it here, they are called Under the Ivy Flowers, and they do dried flowers, fresh flowers for all different bits and bobs, and together they put on paint classes where you get a vase of flowers and you paint the vase of flowers, but you get to keep the vase of flowers and the flowers that you paint. So if you're looking for date ideas and things to do in Newcastle, definitely hit them two up. They are so lovely. So it was so lovely to meet you guys there, and it was so nice just to network with so many people, and so many people were like, I'm going to listen to the pod, which makes my heart leap and dance and sing because I just love building this little community with you all. I don't think I have anything else to update you on. Went to the really cute event. I'm looking through my camera roll, quite literally nothing. Oh, tell you what, I bought a new microphone, £150 later, but I'm really hoping the sound quality is worth it. I'm saying this, but I just filmed the episode with Carys and Meg, but I didn't plug the microphone in because I was worried if it was connected to my microphone, because they weren't speaking into my microphone, their sound wouldn't work. So this intro is recorded with the microphone, so hopefully the sound quality sounds incredible and amazing, and it was worth £150 of my money. If not, I'll be very sad. But anyway, guys, let's get straight on into this week's episode.
I'm Carys. I'm a lesbian actor, currently at drama school. I write spoken word, a play, me and Meg are writing. What else should I say about myself?
I don't know, you're pretty cool girl. We just started pole dancing.
Yeah, we're starting pole.
Yeah.
I'm so bad at it.
Oh my god, no you're not, but
it's a core strength, doesn't it? I think people think it's going to be easy, but the core strength, cling onto a pole and spread your legs is
difficult. I've got bruises everywhere, the back of my knees. It's awful.
My whole body hurts. I wouldn't say that as part of who I am.
No,
I'm quite bad at it.
Yeah, you're not bad.
But soon I will be a pole dancer.
Soon Kaz will be a pole dancer.
Actor, playwright, pole dancer. Yeah, exactly. I think that fits on the CV perfectly.
Yeah,
that's a special skill.
On the spotlight.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go.
Exactly that. Yeah, I'm Meg. I also write a lot. I took one of my plays to Camden Fringe this summer,
Yes,
just
you
gone,
did.
which was fun. And then me and Carys have started writing this play together. Also do a lot of, me and Carys like have the same life. Also do a lot of poetry, spoken word.
It's like a double act.
It is a double act at this point. We train together. We're both from the Midlands. I'm from Leicester, Telford.
Near Birmingham,
Yeah. Yeah, that's us.
Perfect. So we'll start off with the question of the week, because we were chatting just before about like the most gay things that you can do, and I feel like this question of the week is pretty gay. So it's basically, are you and your ex still friends? If so, why or why not? Before I answer the people who've sent in their questions, do you guys have like an answer to this one? Or a little story about like an ex that you're maybe still friends with?
I mean, so I've previously only had boyfriends, and I broke up with every single one of them because I was like, no, I am gay. And then every single time, compare and daddy issues gets the better of me. So this is the best I've done. And I have tried to stay friends with them.
You're strong actually.
I'm quite good, but that's because I don't want to be with them, because I'm not, I'm not really that attracted.
There was no like really romantic attraction there in the first place.
See, this is the thing. It always would get to like a couple months in, and I'd be like, I've done it again, and I am gay, and I'd have to tell them that every time. And you know what? It is a good excuse to break up with someone, because I actually can't say anything bad about.
But your like last situationship with a girl, you were so strong, and you cut contact.
I did. Well, yeah. So I had like little situationship over someone with a girl, and I like was so strong, set my boundaries, unfollowed her. And then we did have a little blip. We did follow her back again. And there were a few likings of the stories, but I've been strong and I've unfollowed again because, putting myself
out. It's so hard. If once like there's like a like of the story, or like a how are you, or anything like that, it just can like.
So this is the thing, like I am so dramatic. It was a 2-week thing. It was 2 weeks. That's all that happened. So yeah, Carys, you take it away.
So yeah, I personally am friends with my ex, but I think it's very circumstantial, and you have to like make sure that you're not self-sabotaging. So there were times where we were friends when we shouldn't have been, because we both hadn't healed, but we have both taken a long period of time away. I think no contact's really important. If you're going to be friends with an ex, it's because you want to be friends with them, not because you want to rekindle, get back. There can't be like any feelings that are unresolved, in my opinion, because it just doesn't work, and you're both hurting each other. Yeah. But on the other side, like I have been able to heal my like attachment to this person, and now we have a really healthy friendship, and I'm in a really happy relationship, and it's very open, and like we're allowed to it's not open.
Not open for everybody. not open,
as in like we can talk about these things, and like no secrets and stuff, but I can also see how a lot of people who are friends with their ex are doing it for the wrong reasons, and it can get
it's also hard to know if you're doing it for the wrong reasons, because you convince yourself that you're not doing it for the wrong reasons, and then afterwards you're like, shit, that was not. I
just think you've got to ask yourself, like, what is this serving me? Like, what is this person giving me to keep them in my life? And if it is genuinely like we have a great friendship, and like you give me a lot and I give you a lot, and there's no like awful feelings, then go for it. But just be honest with yourself.
Be honest with yourself, guys.
And it's a journey.
That's honestly really good advice, because I think a lot of the people listening, from like the response, their answers are like no, but I think it's so important for those who are like yes, because a few of the responses have been like yes, but like should we be? So I think it's really good. That's a really good piece of advice. And like so make sure you're both sort of on the same page, and you're not kidding yourself, being like, actually, I still really fancy, but we're just friends. Do you know what I mean?
There's also like giving yourself a bit of a break, because there's this whole like culture of like being able to like be perfectly healed and do everything like perfectly, and it is really important to like listen to yourself, but also like everybody fucks up now and again, and like you got to be gentle with yourself.
And I also think it's just crazy, because when I used to date men, there wasn't really this question of like, am I friends with my ex? But like ever since I've dated women, it's like it's a huge thing. And I guess it's because, like, as women, you just connect more on different levels, and like you are friends as well. I don't think I've ever been like friends with any men that I've ever
That's
seen.
what I say, because it's like, you know, stereotypically, like, women are friends with women, like men are friends with men. Obviously, like that can like be different, but I think that's why, like, when you're dating a woman, it can feel like you're best friends with them. So when that breakup happens, it's like, are we still friends, or is there more than that? So it is really hard to navigate. So that was really good advice. So we did a little poll on Instagram. 88% said no, they're not friends with their ex. Only 12% said yes.
Wow, well done, guys.
I thought it maybe would have, I thought no would definitely win, but I thought there'd be a few more yeses, especially in like, you know, typical like a lesbian stereotype is that like everyone's friends with their ex. So I'll get up a few of the answers that have been sent in. There's literally this, I think this is the most popular question that we've ever done, and it just came to me. I was like, oh my god, I'm going to do that one. So first one, no, I'm not friends with my ex, she ghosted me.
Oh, that's a rough one. That's a rough one. I hate ghosting. It's my least favorite thing. Oh,
touch wood, I don't think I've ever been ghosted.
Really?
I think I've ever ghosted anyone, so I'm going to touch that.
Well done.
Doesn't happen. Taylor, if you're listening, she doesn't listen to this, so she won't. We got no way. No, she was adamant we would stay friends, but it became a way of keeping us from both moving forwards. We didn't block each other, but I insisted on no contact, and I've never looked back. That's like a very healthy response, and like that's good. No, we are blocked and no contact. We said we'd be friends, but we never spoke again, and I was blocked within 2 weeks.
Oh wow! See, I still think. I mean, it depends on what the other person's done, but I feel like a little like, hey, I think we need to go, no contact. I feel like that's a nice message to, just like being like no, blocked without any. I don't know, because I feel like that would leave me still in it. Yeah, I don't know.
It's hard, isn't it? Next one, this is a good one. Yes, we have a baby together, and she's a great friend. It's like they've done some good healing to like
that's some grown up
absolutely
stuff.
Casually, we live apart, we're still friends on socials and occasionally message, but it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I like that.
I think
that's good.
I'm not friends with any, with the exception of my first. She was and still is my best friend. We found after 5 years together, that doesn't make sense. We found after 5 years together, oh yeah, that's exactly what we should have always been and nothing more. So they just should have been friends. That's a good one. Oh, worst thing is, I still have some feelings / sleep with their exes, and that's the problem about most, that these things I can't read. That's the problem about most that maintain a friendship. There's got to be a hard line. That's true, I guess.
Yeah. Wow.
So she sleeps.
with her ex's exes.
I think.
Get it, girl.
I mean, yeah.
The grammar's not great, so I'm trying to like interpret what they meant. No offense if you're this person.
Yeah, no judgment. No judgment.
Judgment. Yeah. We're gonna go with that, yeah. We've got never ever, no, yes, no, yes, because none of us ever did anything bad, so we didn't want to be out of each other's lives. That's fair. No, my now ex was friends with her ex, which after time split us up, but I don't want to talk to my now ex. Can't turn lovers into friends.
Wow, that's interesting. I feel like there has to be a transition period. Yeah. You can't. I mean, I'm sure there's people that have done it, but I think it's really difficult to go straight from like being together to then like next week we're going to go for a coffee. Yeah. It's like you have to have a transition.
Unless you didn't have any feelings for each other.
Yeah,
which
you're just like cold inside, and you're just like
you're just dead inside.
Next one. I'm friends with one of my exes, but we only check in on birthdays and fully support each other's decisions. I wish nothing but happiness for her, and I'm happy she's found someone who's great.
Oh, that's lovely. So
nice. I like this one. Hell no. Got them all blocked.
A little bit of contrast there.
No bloody way. Next one, I love this. I'm holding my ex's hot water bottle hostage as we speak. And I think they've tagged their ex in this comment as well, because they've tagged someone.
Oh, wow.
Funny. Next one, no, a long distance relationship was hard on us. Fair. Me personally, no, but my ex chose to stay friends with her ex they was together with for 10 years and got back with her a month after we broke up.
Yeah, that's rough. That's rough.
Apparently, so this is the same person. We broke up because she claimed mental health and strung me along thinking we would get back together. That lasted 6 months, and that was about 2 months ago. She kept it a secret for 6 months.
That's so...
I'm just not understanding things here, but some of these comments are not making sense. No offense.
Yeah. I mean, that one just sounds like a lot of messy feelings and a lot of big feelings.
Huge.
We've got lots of absolutely not. This one's interesting. No, I think it's disrespectful to your future self.
Oh, your future self. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I guess in a way, because like if you're staying friends with them and in the future you're going to get with someone new and that's going to like hinder your relationship.
Yeah.
I think it's how much you care about having an actual, because like you can say you're friends with somebody, but like what level of friend, like are you still going out of your way to like rely on this person, or is it just somebody that you're acquaintances with
still?
and
you see them every now and then.
Yeah.
But that's the whole thing, like you have to make sure that you're doing it for the right reasons. Like, are you friends with them because you just want to be friends? Like, or if not, you're sabotaging it. I can see like for your
yeah.
We'll do a couple more because I'm loving it. I love seeing like people's responses. The trauma could never. Too many exes will do anything to be relevant, and it's just not respectful to your current partner. True. We've got loads of just like absolutely not. Yes, we see each other every day for uni, so we had to be friends and talk as we have small group projects together. We ended mutually anyway.
Yeah, I think circumstance is really important.
It's like that thing, like you're going to see them every day. I feel like you kind of have to like, even if you're not friends, just like
make the peace.
Yeah, like you can see each other without it being like really awkward, because it affects other people around you then I guess as well, if you're working on things together like at college or whatever and you can't like work in a group together, it's going to affect everybody else. Okay, we'll do 2 more. With most I am, because we are better as friends. I had a failed date and we are now best friends. The one I'm not friends with is a sociopath. I mean, fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, a failed date to friends, that's like because
you were probably never like romantically involved anyway, so it's probably much easier just to go, okay, we didn't work out like romantically, but what about being friends? We're going to finish with this one because I think it's brilliant. It's from Chris, who says, I'm not a lesbian, but yes, very much so.
Thanks, Chris. Thank you so much.
It literally starts like TikTok lesbians. But Chris thought,
absolute ally.
I wonder what Chris has done to be on that side of TikTok.
I don't know, but
I love that for him.
There we go. Thanks for being here, Chris.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye. So it's like moving on to like more about you guys and the play you've been writing, which is obviously how I found you guys. Do you want to tell me like a bit more about the play, what inspired it, and like sort of like the plans and everything about the play?
Yeah, so the play, I mean, working title, but we're pretty sure it's going to be called, I'm not sure how to say this, but I think I'm a lesbian. And it's basically, me and Carys just got together and we weren't getting the representation that we wanted at drama school. The roles aren't there. There aren't that many lesbian playwriters out there. And with the school we go to, there's an opportunity to do, they have a like little symposium festival. And there's opportunity for anybody to just put on a play. And we wanted to write the parts that we wish were out in the industry. And it sort of just comes from, it's like semi-autobiographical. It sort of just explores the themes of how it feels to be first coming into the lesbian dating scene and what that's like, with it being such a like culture change and culture shift, and the joys in that, but also the difficulties dealing with that. And then more your character is sort of like dealing with being in the first woman loving woman relationship and how that.
So have you put yourself into the characters? Are you playing yourselves, or are you playing a character who's heavily influenced like by yourself and your experiences, or is it like a bit of a mixture?
We wanted to write about the lesbian experience, but obviously we can only write about what we know. So a lot of what we know is in it, but also I think the lesbian experience in a broader sense. So from what we know our friends have experienced and like what we know people that we spoke to online, but the characters are loosely based off our experiences, but also kind of in a broader sense.
Yeah, like we're taking an idea and turning that into a feeling and an idea and turning that into something else.
But I think I also like inspiration to write the play, I think the lesbian experience is so like specific and niche, but not spoken about. So when I see like queer media, I saw a lesbian play in Edinburgh Fringe like a couple of years ago. I was like, oh my god, like this is everything that I have ever felt and felt so alone in growing up. And it's so available to me in this play. And I was like, why isn't there more of that? Because I think if I was exposed to more media like that, I would have realized a lot sooner. I would have also had been able to deal with all the hardships, because being a lesbian is really hard sometimes. And like even like my first like lesbian breakup was fucking brutal, and you don't realize that actually so many people go through really similar things. And I think the community really resonates with each other on like really
it's just things. I think as well, it's like it's a celebration. Like we definitely the reason why we wanted to like get other people's input on it, and that's why we made the TikTok, was because we were like, we want to make this as inclusive as possible that we can with our experiences, but in terms of the emotions that come with it, it's a celebration, but it's also like challenging things that are difficult, that don't need to be, or that everybody struggles with, and like the sense of community that comes from it.
I think it's so important, isn't it? Like you said, like the representation. I've said this a lot of times on the podcast, like if we had that representation growing up, I think there would be so many people out there who would have realized their sexuality sooner, or even people knew, but they would have felt a lot more comfortable to like open up about it and just be themselves. Because I think like if you see it on TV, if you see it in the theater, if you see it like even in music, I think it's so like you know how many songs are like all about being in love with a man, but even like hearing like Billie Eilish singing like I could be your wife, like just little things like people hearing that, it's like it just makes it like more like widely accepted, and people know about it and people talk about it. And then I think so many, like I think now is like a beautiful time to be growing up as like a queer person, because there's so much more representation than what there used to be. I think, you know, there's still so much to do, like there's still such a long way to go, but definitely I think more than like when I was growing up, like there's so much more out there now, which is so important.
Yeah, 100%.
And it means so much to people. Like people need to see plays that we're writing,
and people need to see themselves in things, and like that's something that we're really clear on as we're writing this, is like obviously we can only bring ourselves to it, and as two quite feminine presenting girls, we're like, we understand that that's also a privilege in itself, but we can write about what we know, and if we can bring like a little bit of joy and celebration to like other people watching it, I think it's so important just to be able to see like flickers of yourself and things.
And I think like you said, it should be like this big like joyous celebration, like people should be able to come and be like excited about it, because it's a beautiful thing to like be gay and be queer, and like and to own it and to be proud of it. And I think definitely it's something I've learned along my journey, like especially doing the podcast. Maybe like some like before, like it wouldn't be, I used to hate the word lesbian, like I used to not use it. I just like me and my partner, and someone would be like, oh, so have you and your boyfriend done this? And I'd just be like, yeah, like I would genuinely be too scared to like actually say, oh, actually my girlfriend. But I think like, you know, through like the representation, through seeing things like put on stage and in media, it's really helpful for people to actually realize, oh, it's okay to be like this. So it should absolutely be like this big like celebration. I think so many people are going to see this play, and you know, it's going to just be like, wow, like if they can be queer and have come out the other side and, you know, be brilliant and happy, then like I can do the same. So it's really important. So next question. Well, it's a question, it's kind of not a question. You've obviously recently started the Rose Bruford Sapphic Society. So tell me a little bit about that, like why you think it's important, and sort of what was the inspiration to like to make that? Was it, you know, because of like writing the play you thought it would come from that, or you know?
Well, basically, we were in the canteen at Rose Bruford, the drama school we go to, and this like beautiful girl came up to us called Darcy, and she said that she'd seen our TikTok about the play, and she writes music, and she was like, I'd be super interested in doing some composing for it. So we're gonna have a conversation with her about that. But she also, we'd never met her before, and she was like, but I go to Bruford, she's on a different course, and she's a lesbian, and she was like, it's also nice to just like meet new queer people, because they're
so hard, like
loads.
There's not, and like it's so we I don't know how it was for you when you went to drama school, but with us, there's very much like it's hard to break out of your course. So like we're lucky that we have so many different courses, but it's hard to socially break that boundary. So we wanted to be able to bring together. To be fair, we just wanted to make more queer friends.
We wanted to make more queer friends.
Like that is the bottom line of it. Like obviously, hopefully it will do really great and it will carry on and like it won't just be this year and it's a brilliant thing to do. But the bottom line of it was
colleges should like not even just drama colleges, like literally workplaces, like anywhere should take this idea on board, because like one of the most like the dilemma that we get sent in the most, or the question is like, how do I make more queer friends? And I think a place like this is like so special that people can just go and they know like they're going to be accepted and they're going to just have like this group of people who are going to like understand, like they can like tell you what they're going through and you guys will be able to like actually understand them, and it's not just like them having to like try and like navigate how to like tell like friends who aren't going to understand.
It's so important, and I think like I wouldn't have had the same experience, maybe even in my identity now, if I hadn't have met you, because to have like a queer friend that can just navigate it all with, and it's someone that isn't like a lover, so it's like unconditional almost.
Well, yeah, I think we both like are really lucky that we met each other and like came to terms with our sexuality together really at the same time, because it's like all of these feelings that you spend so long younger, like sort of pushing them down, and like especially like I think a big thing like talking about like compare and stuff like that in your experiences with men, it's really important to like starting to come to grips with what you are, and it's such an ongoing and changing thing, and I think it's just really important to have queer friends.
It's
like,
so important. And I guess the whole idea about like chosen family, I think the community is the best part of being gay. And I think also, I think sometimes when you're in a relationship, like a woman loving woman relationship, they can be quite intense, and a lot of people's experiences are not always positive, and it's just nice to then have, I think friends are important too, and
people that you can go and just like bitch about your partner to, and like they'll understand it, because like being with a woman, like you argue over like different things, like, you know, especially like say like you're both on your periods and you're both like extra like hormonal and everything's just like pissing you off, like to have like queer friends who you can go to and like actually, oh, Taylor's pissing me off, like, and they'll understand like why, other than like, you know, a straight friend or a man just being like, I don't understand, like get over it. And it's like, you're right, like you don't understand, so you need them friends who are going to just like understand and be able to like that, you know, you might have experienced like similar things, you can actually give like helpful advice instead of just being
and just also to have a space that isn't like clubbing, a safe space for women, and we're all in the same like vicinity, or in the same drama school, and we're gonna have like really wholesome like painting nights and stuff. It's gonna be really
back to drama school just so I can join.
Yeah, please. Like we were so focused on and this was like Darcy sort of came to us with this. She was like, the reason that she wanted to do it was because not every, but the majority of the events that you go to in London to meet queer people is all like clubbing or focused on getting with people. And I mean, I'm the only single one in this little trio, but like even still, I would still like some like tender nights by the fire with a cup of tea. Like, and I think it's just important to be able to like make actual connections rather than just being like the first thing that I'm seeing when I'm going into a club is like, who am I going to get with?
And I think you can't hear anyone. Like you're not even going to make friends. Like, what did you say? Like you're shoving your ear to someone. You're like, sorry, what? And then you make a friend, and then you turn around and they're kissing someone. Like, okay, great. Well, find someone else to talk to, and it's definitely it's a lovely, wholesome idea. And that quite nicely moves on to the next question. Like, how do you find like being queer at drama school? Do you think it's something like, do you feel like accepted? Do you think there's still a long way to go? You can sort of talk about your experiences with like how you've navigated drama school as, you know, a lesbian woman.
Yeah, so I think, I don't know, for me it's difficult because I came into drama school with a boyfriend, and then I got another one. And then when I broke up with that, my previous boyfriend was when I started like coming to terms with, and it's to be honest, it's still a journey I'm still going through, like, and I think it's important to be transparent with that. Like sometimes I still struggle with like the definition lesbian, and like sometimes I'll feel real joy in it, and sometimes I'm not quite sure, and like I'm quite a category person, so then that stresses me out. But I think I wouldn't, like we said, I wouldn't have been able to without you, because there's just not, it's just not, because there aren't that many of us, there just isn't, there's not a community of it, so it's not really been a thing. Like, I've only played straight roles. I've not, like, the first gay role I'm playing is one that I've written because I'm writing in our autumn season, one group does a film and I'm writing the film, and that's the first gay role I'm playing at drama school.
I know, I'm trying to think I've ever played a gay role. I fell in love with, well, we did Honk the musical, and I fell in love with a girl, but the girl was playing a boy. But I mean, it was ducks, so it was like, it was hardly like girl and boy. It was like, it was called Ugly, like it was the ugly duckling. So like, it was a very like androgynous role, but it's like there's not many out there, is there? So.
No. And I think it's hard trying to, I don't know how you feel, but like trying to sort of like back yourself in trying to like push that representation in is a bit exhausting.
Yeah, and I sometimes feel like you kind of have to make it your whole personality at drama school for it to be taken seriously. Yeah. Like every play that every time I get the chance to write something at Rupert, I'm writing something gay because there isn't anything. And when I'm like, even us we had a meeting with our course leader about our play, and like coming out to a group of old white men was scary.
But it was hilarious.
But it's like, I'm gonna have to shove it down your throat that I'm a lesbian because I want to have lesbian representation, and maybe
I do not want to play where I have to kiss a boy and like pretend to fall in love with him, because it's not me.
And it's like it's like it's so personal as well. Like a mixed bag is like, I'm sure. I mean, because there isn't the representation anyway, I'll probably play lots of straight roles in my career.
Fine.
But at drama school, when you're supposed to be selling yourself, especially this year, it does get a bit draining because you're like, it doesn't just feel like you can put your full self into something.
It's also exciting because I think I now know exactly the stories I want to tell and who I want to be as an artist, which is quite a privilege in a really saturated industry. To know, like, this is who I am and these are the stories that I want to tell. And we do a showcase, like an agent showcase, where we get to pick our own duologues and we have to like pitch them and basically not ask for permission, but yeah. And Meg and I like have found a scene that we want to do, and we want to do it together because we think it's really important for our drama school showcase that we are playing
showing
roles
ourselves
that we want to be.
Well, and so I trying to get an agent, like, you want them to want you for you. You don't want them to be like, oh, like, you know, they'll want to see like the two girls and like they'll remember that as well. It's not just like the same as everybody else. And like, you don't want an agent to sign you and then because you did this like incredible duologue about falling in love with a boy, and then they're like, oh, we're going to put you up for all these roles. You're like, well, actually, I kind of want to go in a different direction with it. So I think it's really good that you're like, from the get-go, you're like, this is how I want to be seen in the industry.
And I think that's quite a privilege because I think, especially
brave, it's really brave, because I think some people probably do just go, you know what, I'm not gonna step on anyone's toes. Like, I'm not gonna, you know, sort of give too much to myself, because people are, you know, like, not everyone wants to come out to like a group of straight white. It's hard.
Yeah, no, they have been very supportive.
They've been great, and like even like our head of acting was like, I'm learning so much about like lesbian terminology,
and he was really excited about it. It was we had to explain like chaperone and like carabiners, old head of course,
being friends with your ex,
and being friends with your ex, and it was like, it was nice to have like, I think as much as there was so much work to do, it was nice to be in a room with like somebody that would typically be quite scary to come out to and have quite a light-hearted, funny conversation about it.
I think that they have the willingness to like just embrace it.
Yeah. And but I feel like that's my job now. That is my obligation. Like, whilst I'm at drama school, I'm going to push for this, and because that's what I want to do. And like, not everyone is going to want to do that. That's not everyone's path. But I feel like we're quite lucky. We're in like a welcoming environment, and we're having the opportunity to. But it's come from frustration and anger. Like, looking at scenes for showcase, there's just no scenes for specifically lesbians. There are like a few gay plays out there, not enough, but a few. But they're not for lesbians.
And it's a shame that you have to like, you know, search for it. It's like, you know, you want like a normal, like you search it and you have them instantly. Like, it's a shame that you have to be like lesbian monologues and you have to like
literally
like to find like, you know, like a decent one. It should just be like a balance between like straight ones and lesbian ones and like gay ones and like everything. They should just be like accessibly out there, which obviously the thing you guys are doing is so important, because like, you know, there's like change makers out there who are going to be like pushing for like lesbian, not just lesbian, but like any queer representation, so that like in 10 years time when people go to drama school, they can do a duologue about being pansexual, demis, like literally like whatever it is, and it's there, and it's there's not like one, or they don't have to write it themselves. Like people have like done that like for work for them, and they're just now able to like embrace it and like, you know, find it accessibly without like trolling like the internet like to find
Yeah,
it.
and I think it's like clocking yourself as well, because like the play that I took to Fringe in summer came from me writing from a place of like my frustrations and like self-sabotage that I've gone through myself in straight relationships. And I think coming into this year, it was clocking myself and being like, I can't, I mean, I can, but like, I can't feel comfortable in myself being really angry if I'm not using the tools that I've got, which is the opportunity to write and the opportunity to push it. And like, that's not saying it's the only thing I'll ever do, but if I can make a bit of a change, like clock myself that I can do that and I can take action on it. Yeah.
You think that like having this sort of like outlet in writing has helped you guys sort of like come to terms and like accept your sexuality a bit more, and like it's given you sort of like a space to like get down any like feelings that you guys have had? Do you think it's helped in that sort of sense?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just so validating, and it's also like knowing that everybody's experience is so unique, and like putting that into a character and like making that character based on things that you felt. I think it's just really nice to be able to like process those emotions.
And also it's like you're looking at it objectively, and almost you have to, there's like a moral to it. So we're writing this play and we're recognizing actually some of these behaviors were quite toxic, and like even what we accept from like queer experiences, we in hindsight that's not a story that we want to glorify or romanticize. So it's also been interesting to sort of evaluate the experiences that we've had, and like in hindsight be like, that wasn't okay. Like when I like accepted that behavior just because it was from a woman, I didn't like that. And so it's nice to then kind of put little parts of that in the play.
And like figuring out as we go along, like we didn't go into the play being like we know exactly where it's going to go, and as we've sort of started writing it, like we're still figuring it out as we write it, and it's nice.
So we'll do sort of one more like serious question, then we'll move on to the fun stuff. So if you guys are comfortable, I'd love to know a little bit more about like your coming out stories, because we get a lot of people sending into the podcast like, you know, I'm scared to come out, like I don't know how to do it. And I just think it's really important to hear like different people's coming out stories and know that everyone's is so different, and there's not, you know, a right or a wrong way to do it. So if you're comfortable, share like a little bit about them and like sort of like the journey that you've been on to like become like the, you know, proud lesbian woman that you are today, that would be amazing.
I feel like mine was such a slow burn. Like when I was 12 years old, I was obsessed with Jessie J, but like so obsessed. I've seen her live so many times, and I used to have a fan account.
It was my first concert, actually.
Really? Yeah. And I met my first online girlfriend on a fan page, and I was literally like 13 years old, like messaging her on MSN. So like I've always known, but I just never really. I was so deeply ashamed. I wasn't accepting that label. I used to get bullied in primary school. I used to be called a lesbian, like a Jessie J lesbian.
That's so niche.
I used to get the lesbian on the playground, like, and I would go to my deputy head teacher and cry, like they're calling me a lesbian again, and I'm not a lesbian. But and I mean, they obviously saw something that I didn't at the time, because I literally was like, I'm not a lesbian. Like,
I'm not this.
I was literally cry to my deputy head and be like, they're doing it again. They're saying I'm a lesbian. I mean, I'd love to go back and tell them now and be like, hey, guess what?
Now. I think I like just cancelled that label, and I was like, I'm absolutely not. And then I just found myself liking girls, and I had loads of different like crushes and stuff, and like obsessions with like people in my class and stuff. But it wasn't until I never told my family until I think I was literally going through my first queer breakup, and I'd been with this person for like a year. And my mum was like, what's wrong? And I was like, I'm heartbroken. And she was like, who is this person I haven't even heard of? Like, you mentioned anyone? And I was like, it's with a girl. And I just said who it was with. And she was like, I like support you and I love you, but it wasn't like a fairy tale, like everything's fine. And I probably am not super open with my family because of that, but I think it is about exposure therapy. I think, and I've also realized that it's genuinely not the end of the world if someone doesn't support you, because this is my life, and like I am so happy and comfortable with the fact that I'm a lesbian now, and I'm not going to hide that or change that depending on someone's opinion. So I'm like, listen, this is who I am, and if you want to support me, you can, and if you don't, you can leave. But I guess that maybe is a privilege as well, because I don't live with family. Like, I live in London, I pay my own rent. Like, I have that privilege. I don't have to rely on the support of them. But drama school has helped, because I guess it's like moving to a different city as well. It's like a fresh start. Like, I can introduce myself as a lesbian, so no one can argue with that. Like, no one is indifferent. So it's been like a very slow burn, and like throughout my life I've come out to like friends at different times for like the past 10 years. But now, like, I'm just so proud of the label. I think I used to be so terrified of it, and now I'm like, yeah, this is who I am. And also the joy that it brings me, and the pride I feel, and the people that I meet who are also queer, I'm just in awe of their expression.
You guys like get so excited when like you meet lesbians, or like you see them.
I scream in their face.
I always feel like I look so bitchy because I'm like staring, but in reality inside I'm like,
no, literally, Carys will like be walking past like, Meg, look over there, and I'm like, oh my god.
It's like we need like a universal signal, like especially for us like more like femme lesbians, like that, you know, like I obviously feel so like Caribbean as a Nigeria, but like it's just like a hand signal that's like
like just something. Yeah.
So I made a TikTok when I was on holiday, because there were so many lesbians at our pool, and it was like I love this game, and I was just like scanning because there was so many lesbians in our hotel, and I was like, this is brilliant. And I was like, Taylor, we need to go and introduce ourselves. She was like, that's taking it a step too far. To make some little lesbian friends in Mallorca, and why not?
Why not? Yeah, my coming out story. Wow. I've got like, I don't know, it's all a bit complicated. I was a like massive evangelical Christian for like 10 years of my life, which is really funny to anybody that knows me now. And anytime I tell anybody, they're like, that's so funny. And I think I was like about 14 when I realised that like I like girls. It was from watching Orange Is the New Black. And I was watching it in my room. And because I'm so dramatic, I literally slammed the laptop closed. There was no one in my room, like literally me and my cats. And I was like, no, I have to say it out loud. And I went, I'm bisexual. And then cried. And then that was that. And like I was, from when I went to college, like 16, I was very openly bi. And then like I've always sort of labelled myself as bi, and then like I just felt like every single time I was with a man, I felt a yearning to be with a woman. I was like, my life can't be just this. And like I think the last straw, like I said earlier, like when me and my last boyfriend broke up, I was like, no, like I'm not letting like my past like traumas and issues let me like attach onto a man again. And I think for me, like, it's still always something I'm coming to terms with, but like I'm very openly gay. Like, I don't know, labels I always find a little bit strange. And I think sometimes I'm like, yeah, I am a lesbian. And then sometimes I'm like, well, maybe I'm queer, maybe I'm gay. And like, it like flips and flops, but I'm 21. And for me, I know, the thing that I found most comforting this like summer is coming to terms with the fact that I know a woman is who I want to spend the rest of my life with. But like coming out to family, I sort of
her mum's a lesbian.
Yeah, my mum's gay.
She's amazing.
Yeah, but she.
It has like. Did you grow up with your mum as a lesbian?
No,
did you talk about later?
No, she came out when I was 16. And I just like. I've not come out to any of my family, but I have like.
That's similar to me.
Yeah, like I've said, like my mum before has been like, oh, like are you dating anyone at the minute, any girls or boys? And I'm like, no. And like I just speak quite openly about it. I've never sat anyone down and been like,
I don't think I could.
I don't think
I texted her. I was like, I hope you still love me, but I have a girlfriend. Like, I could not do that in person.
Yeah,
there's something I need to tell you.
It's so like I'm still not out to like a lot of my family, but for me it's one of those things where I'm like, when I get a girlfriend, because I'm still so definitely single, but when I get a girlfriend, I'm happy, and I'm sure it's going to be terrifying, but I'm happy to be like, this is my girlfriend, guys. But I think socially,
like a new era of parenting coming, where it's like, you know, it's even just by saying like, if you got any new, are you dating any new girls or boys, or literally, are you dating anyone? Like, it's not like, when are you going to bring a boyfriend home? Like, just that, like having that open conversation, I think will make so many kids, and you won't have to then come out, because it'll be like, have you got any boys or girls coming home, or you know, and then it's just like, oh yeah, this is my girlfriend, and it's like, it's already been spoken about, so you don't have to do that whole like surprise.
Friends, like, I find it quite. I'm very, very lucky, and I know this is not the case for a lot of people, but I've never felt like ashamed coming out to friends, and I think that's been the most important for me. Is finding your circle, because I'm sure there's lots of people that feel like they're in friendship groups or they're in situations where they don't feel like they could comfortably be that, but like, find your circle. And I know that's privileged and easy for me to say, but like, find a queer book club, like go make friends, because it just takes a bit of that weight off your shoulders.
And it's like it's not the end of the world.
It's
like,
not.
We shouldn't have to come out, for one, but also, and I know that this isn't the case for everyone, and there are laws and shit, but who you love, like, it doesn't matter. Like,
I always say that all the time. Like, it's crazy how people can have such like a hatred towards people just loving someone. It's like, it's baffling. It's like, you know, we're not going out there killing people, we're not putting people's lives at risk, we are literally loving someone, and people can have such a big issue with it. And it's just like, it's baffling when you actually like deep it and think about it. It's like, literally, like, what is the problem? Like, we are just trying to exist and be in our happy little love bubble. It's crazy. It really is. But anyway, we'll move on to something a little bit more fun and upbeat. So you both kind of touched on it a little bit, but I was wondering if you have somebody who was like your like gay awakening, if there's someone who like sticks out in your mind and you're like, that person, even if it's like weird as fuck. Because I mean, I don't think mine is. So mine was Clove from the Hunger Games. I was like,
well, yeah, which one is that?
Let me get a picture. She was the tiny one from District 2.
Yeah, if I see a picture.
I don't know what it was, but I was in love with this woman.
Oh,
I was absolute, like, she was I just thought she was really like, I must obviously deep down it was a crush, but to me I just thought she was like so badass. But she was like my screensaver. She was like, sometimes my Facebook memories pop up and it's like, I love Clove, and just like photos of Clove.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it would definitely, when I look back, I think, my god, like, how did no one say like, you think you might be gay? Because I was in love with, I would watch like edits of her on YouTube. Like, she was everywhere. Like, she was the one for me. So I know people have had crazy ones. This was one of the questions of the week a few weeks ago, and a lot of people had like fictional characters and stuff, or like, you know, cartoon characters, which is
I have got a bit of a weird one.
I would love to hear.
I've got two. So my weird one is Lola from Shark Tale.
Yeah, that's valid.
Like, that came up a few times, I think.
She's beautiful. My second one, it was just like the only lesbian that was in, the only out lesbian that was in our school, and I was like, oh my god, like, why, like, why? And like, I genuinely did not think anything of it until like 2 years later, and I hadn't seen her for years, and I was so drunk, I ran up to her and I was like, I'm gay now. She was like, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
But I used to say, the way you looked at me, I knew. I had a thing for gingers. I used to get like a really like funny feeling around gingers, and I couldn't explain it, but they made me feel some kind of way. And I would be like, I don't know what it is, but there was one, and I was so like intimidated by her. She used to like sell like cakes and coffees at my dance school. And I couldn't speak to her. I was like so nervous around her. She just made me feel so nervous. And
that's so sweet.
If she's gay now, but any gingers, I was like, oh, hello. But now I'm with Taylor, who's a blonde, but there was something about like this girl with ginger hair, and I was just obsessed. So what about you, Carys? Do you have, you said Jessie J?
Yeah.
That
like, it was unhealthy.
It was, you need an intervention.
Every morning I'd wake up and just watch hours of interviews before school. Like, I would dream about her every day. It was weird.
It was a bit of a delusion.
It was like, I I was convinced that I'd meet her and like fall in love, like she'd fall in love with me.
Really?
Yeah. But my first, like, I used to have a neighbour that I used to go and kiss. I just used to kiss her. Like, it's so weird. I was literally like 10 years old and I wouldn't even question that. So weird. It's just you just are.
You just are, like,
you
are just born with it.
Sometimes you do look back on your life and you'd be like, how did I not realise sooner? Or like, why did nobody like bring this up to me and be like, do you think you might like girls? Because all the signs are pointing in that direction. But I was one of them kids, I was like so adamant I was straight. And then because I came out, I guess, quite late, and like, I mean, you know, you can come out whenever you want, but I came out when I was at college as well. So I must have been like 20, 21 maybe. I'm 23 now. And it was like, it's interesting to navigate, especially when you're older. But then when you look back and I go, yeah, I do think my obsession with Chloe from the Hunger Games, and like, I loved like Vanessa Vanessa Doofenshmirtz from Phineas and Ferb.
Oh my god. No, yeah, that is so real.
So valid.
Kim Possible, passionate about that
Kim
one.
Possible and Shay. I don't know if it's Shago or Shigo, because if I'm honest, I've never like really watched the show, but they came up a lot for people's like queer, what's the word, gay awakenings, and they came up a lot for, because we did a queer Halloween costume ideas the other week. They came up a lot for that. So me and Taylor have been like, we re-listened to the podcast and we've been like going through everyone's suggestions, because we're going to a Halloween party on Saturday, like very last minute. And we're like, shit, like what will we be? And I was like, I did a full podcast about this. So it's really helpful. So next question, we'll start to wrap up in a minute, but I want to know, what is the most lesbian thing that you have ever done? It looks ashamed.
Oh my god, this is so embarrassing. Should I say the
poem? There's no judgment here, don't you worry.
I had been on literally like 2 dates with this girl and known her for like a week and a half, and like obviously absolutely infatuated. I went to the National Portrait Gallery and I just went on my own on a little like solo date, and I bought loads of prints and I wrote a poem on the way back, and I rang Carys and her girlfriend up and I went, guys, I've got this, like, I got this idea, but like I don't know whether I should do it. And I was like, should I like write this poem out on the back of this print and like give it to her on our next date? This was like, we'd known each other for like a week and a half. And they did say to me, Meg, beautiful words, I don't think you should do it. Luckily she ended things with me before I had the chance. So
like ready to give.
I'd written it out and then I decided not to do it because I thought maybe that was a little bit intense, but you know what, someone will love me for me one day. For sure.
Imagine though, you were at the date and you were like, I've got something to tell you, and she's like, me too, and she's like, I don't want to continue this, and you were like, just like
no, like we didn't even go on another date. She like rang me and was like, she was just like, yeah, no.
You know what, we appreciate the honesty, and
we do appreciate the honesty, and we're all right.
We're fine. We're healed.
We're healed, and we're ready
for the next.
Yeah, ready for the next.
I've done a lot of gay things. You've done a lot, really, but maybe not the podcast is. But I guess the most gay thing that I've done is probably my girlfriend.
She's the gayest thing I've done.
As in, like, we
know which way you mean, Carys. We know.
She messaged me on TikTok, which is hilarious. And like the day we messaged, it was like
you were in love.
I was in love, like in love, and we just spoke for hours every single day, and we haven't really had a day apart since we got together.
That's similar to me and Taylor. We met on Tinder in lockdown, FaceTimed every day, said I love you on FaceTime. We're like in a fully blown FaceTime relationship. We had never met each other. I know.
I believe it.
I know.
So
I so believe it.
And then we matched on Tinder on like the 2nd of December. We were dating by the 31st of December. We didn't meet until March, and we've literally never left each other's side since.
Oh, but I just love it. That, like, I'm sorry, shoot me. Yeah, I love it. Shoot me. I love it. It's great.
When you know.
When you know, you know. In the words of Lana.
So I guess that's probably the most gay thing I've done, is matched with a girl on Tinder and said I love you before I've actually met her.
It's pretty good.
So we have read this dilemma on the podcast before, but I'm gonna have to read it to you guys because I feel like obviously you were looking for like a bit of queer inspiration for the play. So is it this one? Yes, I've got it up. So I'm gonna read it to you guys. Just if you've listened to the pod and you heard this before, I'm sure you'll love it just as much as I will for the second time, because it's fucking hilarious. So starts. This is easily the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me. It was a few years ago and I'm still mortified over it. Basically, me and my girlfriend had been dating for a year, and on her birthday, I wanted to surprise her. I knew she was going to get her hair done in the morning of her birthday, so I thought I would already be at her house for when she got back. I left a rose petal trail into her bedroom, and I lay completely naked and handcuffed myself to the bed. I laugh before I even read the next bit because it's so funny.
Okay.
Then I hear her open the door and head up the stairs. However, it turned out that her mum had also wanted to surprise her and leave a stack of presents in the room for when she arrived. So as the door opened, I realised it was in fact not her, and it was her mum.
No.
That's worse.
No.
What was, she had to unhandcuff me because I couldn't do it myself.
Oh, no. Surely you just close the door.
And they've not spoken since. I don't know if that's her and the girlfriend. I think I would have to break up. I imagine like having to go to your girlfriend and be like, so do you remember when you were getting your hair done? I was naked on your bed, handcuffed, and your mum had to unhandcuff me.
Yeah, but like, I need more specifics. Like, are we like legs splayed open, like handcuffed? Like,
I'm sorry.
Oh my god, it's like hand, leg.
If I see someone naked, the door's closed.
The door's closed.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. But then imagine she was just like stuck handcuffed to the bed, thinking like the mum's just gone downstairs to make a cup of tea, and she's like on bed naked.
Yeah, that is. I wouldn't even know what to even like suggest to do.
What do you say? I'm sorry.
I think you have to make it into a joke. I think that's the only way forward.
Yeah.
I'm making your daughter happy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And I think maybe you could play it off like it was a little prank, maybe.
Yeah, I guess. A lot of people have been asking for like the girlfriend's reaction. So if you are the person who sent this dilemma in, please, the people want to know how your girlfriend reacted to this.
We want to know, are you still together? Are you happy? Did you get that like good handcuff sex afterwards, or was it a mood killer? Like,
I feel like it probably did. Imagine like the girlfriend came in as the mum was like unhandcuffing the daughter.
Oh no!
I just added
to my mum and be like, whatever you just saw, we wipe it from our memories.
Yeah,
we never speak. I could never speak about it again. I mean, they said like we've never spoken, and I don't think I could.
No,
but I love that is joke.
It is funny. Like, I'm really sorry to whoever this happened, but like it is a bit funny.
It's hilarious. I shouldn't laugh. If you are that person, I feel really bad that you went through such a traumatic thing.
Oh,
for us, it's brilliant podcast content.
Yeah.
So we're going to finish off with a fun little game of kiss, marry, kill. So I'll give you both the same options and you can both decide. So we have kiss, marry, kill, Leah Williamson, Renee Rapp, or Margot Robbie.
I'm killing Margot Robbie.
She would be my kill.
I'm marrying Renee Rapp and kissing Leah Williamson. Because Renee Rapp is mommy in every sense of the word.
She's so mommy.
And Leah Williamson.
What if I change it to kiss, marry, fuck?
Oh, okay.
I'd kiss Margot Robbie, fuck Leah Williamson, and I'd marry Renee.
I think I would also kiss Margot Robbie. She's just a girly pop.
Just try to like sack off.
You're like, it's giving like I'm kissing my friend. Or I'm kissing my straight friend on a night out.
Gay, you're 10 times
hotter. I think I'd marry Leah Williamson and
really
fuck Renee.
Yeah, Renee could get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my final answer.
But Leah Williamson, like that little like.
I feel like it's hard to choose between Leah and Renee. I don't know.
That is a hard one.
I think
if you marry, you can fuck throughout the marriage.
This is true. This is my thought process.
Like, I'm not entering a sexless marriage.
No, never.
What's the point?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Great women.
Thank you so much for coming on. I hope you've had a wonderful time. It's been so lovely to chat with you guys. Do you want to quickly like tell the girlies and the gays and the theys who listen like where they can find you? I'll link you guys in the description, but you know, you can tell like where to find the play if they want to like, you know, see all about that and where to follow you guys as well.
Yeah.
So we're on TikTok and Instagram, our like individual accounts.
Yeah.
We definitely will make an account.
We're probably going to make an account. So basically for the play, For anyone that doesn't know, we're taking it to our little Bruford Symposium Festival as our sort of like first trying it out, and then we're hoping to take it to Fringe after that. So if you keep your eyes peeled, we'll be doing content as it comes.
Yeah, because we want you to come watch.
But I'm just Meg Wall's Kiss on Instagram,
yes,
and
I'm Carys Meg on Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm on TikTok, but
I'll link them in the description because I've got you guys on both. So everyone go and follow them, show the play loads of love, and thank you so much for coming on.